Hello and welcome to video number 3. This is all about communication. I believe it's Tony Robbins that shares the quality of your communication determines the quality of your life. Now, it took me a really long time to understand that quote. First of all, within my communication with relationships and family, etc., outwardly, how to have better relationships through communication. But even more than that, by understanding how to communicate effectively, how I could really improve my mindset and step into confidence, personal power, and an unshakable warrior mindset. Now, first of all, we need to understand the different areas of communication. Now, of course, there are loads of different areas of communication, but I just want to break it down and keep it quite simple so that everybody can take something from this. So first of all, and the one that we are going to focus on the most, is all about your internal dialogue. How are you communicating with yourself? So, you know that little voice that's inside of your mind, chattering away? Say hello. Not out loud, but say hello. That voice is chattering away to us all day long. But what we don't realize is actually that voice, our mind, our brain, is not the captain of this ship. If you want to create your life by design, if you want to master your mind, you need to be able to take charge of that voice. Because actually, the first and fundamental reason for that voice, for your mind, is to keep you safe, is to look out for danger. That's what that little voice is. It keeps you safe. It keeps you in familiar routine, what you know. And if we understand that everything that we want to achieve is outside of our comfort zone, it requires becoming more, doing more to be able to obtain it, then we need to understand not to keep listening, or even more than that, to shut out the negative voice, but to create an empowering voice that is serving you and is giving you a growth mindset in the process. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. But just some things to be aware of as well. Number 2 is your external communication. Remember, thoughts become things. So that is your internal dialogue, your thought, you speaking to yourself, that carries a vibration. It starts moving you into a certain direction. It gives you a certain state of mind. When we are communicating externally, we are putting even more energy into that statement, into that thought. It's now become a sentence that we are projecting externally. So of course, this not only brings our feeling about this situation into usually a heightened sense of emotion. When we speak about something, we bring more emotion to it. But even more than that, you are putting that out to those around you. So if you want to have good team relationships, if you want to be a great leader, if you want to be a great boss, if you want to be a beautiful parent, friend, wife, partner, anything, sister, whatever it might be, then you need to be able to have effective communication. Especially if you want to be a leader, you need to know how to be able to communicate with people to get the best out of them. So your external communication is really important to all of the different relationships within your life, but also into speaking out what you are looking to bring into your existence. And then the last one that I'm not going to speak about much on this video, this is mind mastery, not speaker mastery, but I am just going to share it as thought for people, because this area of communication for me is, apart from this, one of my absolute favorites. I understand that to really be able to make an impact, to be able to make a difference, to have free up my time and have a flexible diary, and even more than that, be able to make a great income by having a huge impact. That is what we get when we learn to communicate with the masses and we understand how to speak from stage. Different course, different subject, but those are sort of the generic main areas of communication. And of course, last but not least, or you'll understand more in a moment, I believe we communicate with source. So whatever your word for that will be, higher power, higher being, universe, God, Allah, Buddha, whatever it might be for you. If I haven't included it, I'm sorry, add it in. Whatever it might be for you, because each to their own. But whatever that higher thing to you is, In this example, I'm using the word source. I believe that we are communicating with source all the time. So whether it be your internal dialogue, whether it be, which is your thoughts to yourself, whether it be your external communication, or whether you're speaking in groups, work, family situation, whether you're speaking to stage, or whether you're praying, whether you're communicating with source, you are always speaking to that higher power. And this is where we start looking at the law of attraction, or scientifically, for every single action that happens, there is an equal and opposite reaction. What are you putting out there to be able to come back to you? And we are always communicating with source. That's why there's so many different quotes and phrases around speak it into existence. Your communication, what you speak about, what you think, or what you speak inside of your mind is what you will bring about. So you need to be aware of these areas, but in particular, your internal dialogue. You need to listen to that voice, but more than that, take charge. So of course, some of you are wondering, well, how do we do that, Harriet? I'm gonna show you. Step number one, we should have learned this from the first video. Step number one to any change is your awareness. Bringing awareness to that little voice, listening to how you are speaking to yourself all the time. We can't change something that we don't know about or we're not aware of. So you need to start becoming aware of how you are speaking to yourself. Does it serve you? Does it help you? Does it help the situation? Does it help the circumstance? Is it empowering you? Does it support you? Or does it limit you? Does it hold you back? Does it stop you? Does it keep you disempowered? You need to start listening to that language and gain the awareness of how you are speaking to yourself. And then, of course, you need to reframe. If you're finding that you're constantly speaking negatively to yourself, you're speaking from a place of fear, worry. Now don't get me wrong, I understand that fear will always be there, but how do you respond to it? How do you show up? Do you bow out and say, oh no, I can't do this, I don't think I can do this, it's not possible? And that's how you speak to yourself. Or do you say, I'm going to try it, it's possible, I can do this, I'm going to give it a go. I've never done it before, but why not try it? Does this make sense? It's a different way at looking at essentially what is the same situation around you, but being able to choose what your response is, not having it automated by that little voice that is keeping you safe. So we reframe what that little voice is saying to us. Once you do that enough time, you will reprogram your mind to be speaking positively to yourself. So instead of it chattering away on and on and on, keeping you safe, keeping you in that comfort zone, instead it will be empowered, it will be solution focused. And that doesn't mean it'll be yes, 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 everything's amazing, I say yes to everything all the time. It will put you in a state of understanding what serves you and what doesn't, what is beneficial to you and takes you towards what you want in that moment, and what doesn't. And of course, practice gives you the ability to be able to trust that and listen to it. And even more than that, find that as a way of living rather than having to go through this process every time. It does not happen overnight, but if you take care of your internal dialogue, that is how you can truly start to master your mind. Yes, of course, there's all these other different areas, meditation, visualization, different areas that we're speaking about on this video series. But personally for me, the most powerful one that I have found is monitoring those thoughts. Every moment of every day, bring awareness to how you speak to yourself. Take charge of that voice, master that voice, and you master your mind, you master your life. So those are some different steps that you can take to start working with that inner voice and reprogramming it to serve you, to benefit you, to be the warrior inside of your mind. There's also another exercise that can go along with this and really truly support your internal dialogue, but it's kind of a share and a practice within itself. So I'll put it in the next video.